What's up and welcome everybody. Welcome to the Power of Gamers channel. We are finally together. Max, Denny.
Yes.
What's up?
So good to see your faces, my friends. We're doing content together.
To see you guys too.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys, I was talking to Naomi, my sister, for those of you who don't know, and she was just like, oh my gosh, you guys are doing stuff together. And she's like, you guys should do content like all the time. You guys are like three people that I think about in terms of like just chatting video game news, opinions, and basically she says that we just all talk so much. So we should get together.
I think that's a compliment because like I was totally expecting her to be like, you guys are like the Three Stooges. You're so dumb, you make me laugh. But
honestly, I would not even like be offended if that were true.
Absolutely, man. This is so fun. So guys, we are here to talk about something very, very special, something specifically dear to my heart. I'm not sure how deep it goes for you guys, but we're here to talk about Dragon Ball Daima. So when I say Dragon Ball, what does that mean to either of you guys?
It's over 9,000.
Nice.
That's
all the memes.
Honestly,
all the memes.
Growing up with it, it's just it was probably one of the first things that, at least to me, that I knew that was an anime. That was like, I saw that, I was like, that's different. What is this called? It's called anime. That's the first thing that actually like defined it for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have very fond memories of Dragon Ball. I remember staying home from school with like chicken pox and watching it, and that's like the first time Goku went Super Saiyan on Namek.
Ooh,
so like
deep cuts,
like deep cut, right? Deep cut. So yeah, I grew up on Dragon Ball. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z. It is definitely an anime near and dear to my heart. Yeah, it's very close to me.
As for me, it has been an incredible ride. Really and truly one of my first experiences in the anime world. It was really just, it started there and it blew up. And a lot of the stuff that I watch today, I would say is directly influenced by the work of Toriyama, and whether that's animation style, combat, just scenes, even dialogue between characters. I wanted to really dive into this piece of work that Toriyama, the late Toriyama, had worked on before his passing, and get your thoughts on what it really means for you as individuals, for us as a community, and what we can look forward to. So any initial thoughts from you guys, even before we ask anything specific?
So at least with this specific project, right? When we found out that Toriyama was actually like very involved with it, it was interesting because the last thing that he was fully involved with was the production of Dragon Ball Super. Also, for a lot of reasons why Super, we'll probably come back to it. But everything else, like if you look at how stuff like, Dragon Ball GT, which is not done by him, is a different project altogether, and other stuff that is like Dragon Ball related, but not specifically done by him, just like approval and stuff. It always feels a little bit more different. And with this being more of a throwback to what Dragon Ball specifically was, is interesting to me because up until recently, I had not watched the original Dragon Ball or read the original Dragon Ball at all. It wasn't until this was announced and that they were talking about that, I was like, okay, maybe it's time to go back to what it was and see how that fares compared to like Dragon Ball Z, because I've watched Dragon Ball Z. I've watched Kai, which is basically the remake of Dragon Ball Z, but condensed.
Less filler.
Less filler.
Basically, they took out all the filler, but like the structure of the story is the same.
Yes.
So it's still long, but without the episode where they go for a driving test, for example.
Best episode, though. Best episode.
By the way, actual episode from Dragon Ball Z. Look it up. It is hilarious.
It's goated.
Piccolo in human clothes, learning how to drive a hover car. With the backwards cap.
Being absolutely savage to Goku.
Yeah.
Great episode.
Oh my god, it's such a good episode. But yeah, so there is a big difference between how Toriyama was writing Dragon Ball and how he was writing Dragon Ball Z, because it changed over time, right?
Yes.
By the time it got to Z, it was basically just all fighting. but Dragon Ball is basically a big adventure. And the idea of GT was doing the same thing. That's why GT stood for Grand Tour.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I'll let you all decide what you think about Dragon Ball GT. But the long and the short of it is, it tried to recapture the essence of what Dragon Ball was. I'll leave it at that. And this is what Daima is supposed to actually be doing.
Yeah.
And considering that he is actually involved in this, I can see that being more faithful to what his original vision of Dragon Ball was. But
100%.
that's just me.
Yeah. What about you, Denny?
No, yeah, Max said basically everything. Stole my thunder. Thanks a lot, Max. No. But I agree with you 100%. There's a special magic about Dragon Ball and how it's evolved. And I think if you started with Dragon Ball and as you grew up went to Z and Super, like the story grew up with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Daima is definitely harking back to that original fun, that adventure style anime that Dragon Ball started as.
Yeah.
And you know, there's certain things in here that I've seen. Like at first when I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh great, they're going the GT route. Everybody's a kid now, right? Because that's what they did in GT. I'm like, god damn.
Yeah.
True.
But like, even though they did that, and that's probably what a lot of people's initial reaction was for that first comparison, that oh, they're just going the GT route and Akira Toriyama's involved. The fact that he's involved changes the way they're gonna handle it. And you know, even something as simple as just making Goku have his power pole again, right? It's just such a throwback to the way the original Dragon Ball series was, which is something I think GT was missing a lot of. You could tell GT was kind of like a cash cow.
Right.
That threw me by surprise because I didn't think that he would bring back the power pole just because, you know, Goku is now so strong. Why do you need an item, right?
Yes.
The other thing is, of course, the original Dragon Ball started out as a gag manga.
Yeah.
So it's more, it was way more heavier on the comedy than Z ever was. And like, that's what we have to fill it for. But yeah, like, so having that back and that kind of formula, I'm really curious to see how the story is going to flow out. I don't know if you guys, I'm assuming you've all seen the latest trailer.
Yes.
Which, it's a vibe. I'm gonna say it straight up. It is a vibe.
It is really cool. I have I have the wiki pulled up right now, and it said the series was announced during the Dragon Ball special panel at New York Comic-Con 2023. It was revealed to be airing in fall 2024. And in the overview, there is actually a quote from Toriyama, if you would let me read it here. I am currently working on a new Dragon Ball. The title is Dragon Ball Daima. Daima is a made-up term which in Japanese characters would be, I guess that would say Daima, or in English would be the same like evil. Due to a conspiracy, Goku and his friends are turned small. In order to fix things, they'll head off to a new world. It's a grand adventure with intense action in an unknown and mysterious world. Since Goku has to make up for his petite size, he uses his Nyobo, or power pole, like Denny was mentioning, to fight, something not seen in a really long time, which we are really excited about. I came up with the story and settings as well as a lot of the designs. I'm actually putting a lot more into this than usual, something that we didn't see in GT as mentioned. Things will unfold that close in on the mysteries of the Dragon Ball world, and hope you all enjoy these different from usual battles that are cute and powerful. Quote, Akira Toriyama. Guys, what do you think about that?
That sounds like Dragon Ball.
That sounds like Dragon Ball to me. I'm really excited about it. Listen, as a fan of Dragon Ball Onward, I did consume every piece of media unapologetically. And even if we're going into the video game realm of things, anything from Hyperdimension on the SNES to Final Bout on the PlayStation 1, Ultimate Battle 22, those games were staples in my gaming experience. So I was gonna ask, I know we're kind of teetering away from the actual show, we'll get back to the show, but like, are there games that you think about in terms of the Dragon Ball franchise?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got introduced to the SNES games as well, so not only Hyperdimension, but the earlier ones as well. I don't remember what they're called.
Super Butoden.
Butoden, yeah.
Sorry?
Super Butoden.
Yeah, those were great games, and they really got into it. And yes, I also Final Bout. Like even up until now, like I mean,
What's wrong with Final Bout?
That's a whole other episode. We're not getting into that.
Oh my
my
god! Oh my
I
That's a
loved
whole
Final
other
Bounce
episode.
man.
so much, man.
That is my childhood, dude.
Look, it is mine too. But if you have you come back and played it?
Terrible voiceovers and all. I
Thank
loved
you.
them. I love them.
I have.
I get
the
it.
Controls are stiff as heck. I still love it.
I go back and I've played it, and I'm just like, what is?
If you're fighting Majin Buu, you just go.
Yeah, that's true. He would.
That's what he does.
I didn't
That's
play the
what you
English
do.
version, so I never got to see how bad the voice acting was. I played the Japanese version.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, same.
Right.
Yeah.
But that intro video was badass.
Oh,
I will give
so
it credit.
good.
That
And
was
really,
an amazing intro.
that's where I was going to go
Yeah.
towards, right? Because in every one of these video games, there was some sort of animated piece that was with them, whether that was the intro or some sort of cutscene that you could unlock after beating X, Y, and Z. And it really does speak to how much influence this franchise has had on many, many other animes and mangas in the space. And even in Toriyama's passing, a lot of other studios and shows just paying tribute to his work and everything that he poured out into this whole genre. I mean, did you even think, as people who are in generally the same age bracket here, like, did you ever think that something that you watched as a child on TV would be regarded as this big space, this franchise that would really make an impact on the world and nerd culture in general?
So what really blows my mind about this franchise is actually how it's transcended nerd culture.
True.
This is that thing that if you watch shows on Cartoon Network, even they've made reference to It's Over 9,000 or Super Saiyan. And what really blew my mind, and it's an interesting story, what really blew my mind about just how big this is and why I say I think it transcends nerd culture is last year I was in Mexico when he passed on vacation.
Right.
And on the news, not only did they announce that obviously he passed, it was in the news. Mexican news actually even like followed on a story where the cartel itself stopped all activities
No way.
to honor and like commemorate his
shot.
passing.
That's wild.
Like that's the thing. Like that is such a huge statement to have about a franchise, about a creator. And like for me, like when I think of that, that's what blows my mind. That's something I used to watch as a kid, something I grew up. And of course, I don't know about you guys, but we were running around on the playground during recess, screaming our heads off, trying to power up, right? Doing silly things like that. But then you have these hardened criminals, like straight up gangsters, you know, who have seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
are
Lived a
like,
bit of life.
No, you lived a bit of life, and they're like, no, we need to take a day for this.
Let's
like,
pause.
That
Yeah.
is powerful.
Yeah.
That's wild. I didn't know that, man.
crazy.
Thanks for that tidbit.
Neither
What
did
about
I,
you, Max?
yeah. So when it comes to like stuff like when it comes to like nerd stuff, right? You have like these days you have stuff like One Piece, you have Bleach, you have like the newer stuff like Jujutsu Kaisen. But back then, if you were to say like, hey, like what is actually a good example? Tasmania. Do you remember Tasmania?
Of course.
Yep.
Cool. So you remember Tasmania, I remember Tasmania. I could probably walk to like a bunch of colleagues at work or random people in the street, ask them, do you know Tasmania? They're probably gonna look at you and like, what the hell is that? Or they're gonna ask, the country? Tasmania? Are you mentioning, you mean the country?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like, no, the cartoon is like, sure, whatever. Despite the fact that it was big, like Taz was big back in the day,
Yes.
but not like, but that was a moment, right?
Sure.
Whereas Dragon Ball, like, even if you don't count like the Western side of things, right? Dragon Ball got its start in the 80s in Japan, right? In the mid 80s, it was, the bubble economy, Japan was riding high.
Right.
And all like it surpassed all of that, like the bubble bursting, anything like that was significant in terms of like world development. It has transcended all of that. It's still around. If you're referencing anime, that's like one of the first things that people will mention.
Right.
right? Like it's like, oh, like if you say like, hey, like if you say anime and you're like, people are not sure, and you mention Dragon Ball,
Oh,
they're
like
like,
Dragon
oh,
Ball?
that thing.
Oh, like Dragon
Yeah,
Ball,
like,
right.
It's like
like
you know,
this
is that a Nintendo?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
basically like that. It's the definition of anime. It has become like a definition of what anime is and what anime can be. It also means that most people think that most anime is shonen, but
Sure.
at least they understand that what it is.
Hmm.
I mean, it's for me, it's had a very big impact because growing up, I have a younger sister as well. And if you ask my mom, like we used to fight like Tom and Jerry, and like it was pretty bad. But there were a few things that we bonded over.
Right.
One happened to be youth dramas, like like Dawson's Creek. Sorry, that was my thing.
Hey, don't
like
say sorry,
Dawson's
bro.
Creek as
Never
well.
apologize. Dawson's Creek, very much part of my canon as well.
I'm not apologizing for Dawson's Creek.
You're apologizing for that thumbs up. He's not apologetic about Dawson's Creek. He loves that shit.
Yo, that was I'm not gonna lie, that's show straight up fire. But the other thing that we grew up with, me and my younger sister, bonding over was Dragon Ball. We
Sure.
actually had like we pretended to have like beam struggles with each other. That's how
I
tight,
love it.
that is how tight Dragon Ball Z was
Yeah.
in our household.
Yeah.
Because it was something that me and my younger sister, despite everything like growing up, that was one of the things that we could actually bond over.
Hmm.
And I'm sure that there are other people that have been bonding over it. I mean, if cartels can just like even take a breath when Toriyama passed just for that, can you imagine? It's like great, like nothing else. I don't like there's nobody else that I know that could have such an impact on a community. And I can imagine that in other parts of like the world, like I don't know if you guys know this. I think it was a Latin American country where in the small communities, they would have like a projector beaming it on a building and they literally watch every episode of Dragon Ball Super. Like
Wow.
new episode goes live, the community comes together, beamer goes on the wall, like the whole community is watching Dragon Ball Super. And I know the reason why I know this is because this basically got attention during the Tournament of Power arc.
Yes.
It even got like mainstream news, like, oh, people are like getting excited for like the final episode of Dragon Ball Super, and like even in this like community in like Latin America is like watching this like as a community on like the streets. It's like, damn, that's crazy. I don't even think they're doing that in Japan.
No, so here's the crazy thing about Latin America. They love Dragon Ball. Like
Oh,
they
they
are,
love it. Absolutely.
it is their quintessential anime. Like
Right.
as you were
Yeah.
looking up this story, I had to Google it on my other screen. Just like why
Right.
is Dragon
Because
Ball so
we set
popular?
up our dual screens.
Yeah.
That's right. We're smart like that. We set up our dual screens to look shit up.
Exactly.
Right? No, but apparently Dragon Ball really aligns with like a lot of things in Latin American culture.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things is like obviously Goku, the anime's lead character, has become an icon for anime worldwide, but he's a symbol of strength, family values, and courage in Latin America.
Mm.
Right? So very big
Family
thing.
values, Goku? Okay, to
He's
be fair,
got kids.
you know what? No.
That's
No,
also
no, to
another
be fair-
episode, Max.
To be fair, I recently saw another anime and 100% yes, I will give him that. He is a
Yeah.
family man.
Yeah, well, you listen, we can do an episode on anime's worst dads. Okay, we will.
Ooh, there's in my mind there's only one, but yeah, let's continue.
Wait. Tucker?
Oh shit, two.
Two. Oh, I love those thoughts, guys. I love those thoughts. So here's one thing that I wonder, okay? Now, we think about Dragon Ball, we think about all of the different pieces of work that have come out from the original inception. There are many different art styles represented in this work. Like you said, Toriyama wasn't in all of those pieces. And so for Daima, I mean, we saw the trailer, but what are you guys expecting, or what would you like to see in terms of art direction? And what did you love about stuff before? Would you like to see it again? Let's talk about what you guys think about that.
So here's the cool thing about the art style, right? Apparently, this art style of like Dragon Ball, it is actually based off of his most recent style of drawing.
Right.
that's really cool because his art style has changed
Mhm.
as he like went from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Super. And if you like read the manga itself, you'll also notice that his art style has changed over the years between then and now, and that this is probably the first and obviously the only one that's ever going to be in that art style. So I'm
Yes.
actually really looking forward to it. For one, it looks very clean. It looks very nice. I'm really curious to see what the animation studio was able to do because they were allowed to have time to actually make this anime, unlike with Super, where they had to rush it out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Super had great stuff too. But I think that there was maybe a little bit of discourse in the community. I don't know if this is the proper way to describe how Super looked. There was a chunk of people that said like this was too clean. They kind of missed the graininess of the, let's say the Saiyan saga, for example, in Z.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, please,
I
Denny.
agree with that. I agree with that
Mm.
because you know what? One thing that kind of bothers me about the more recent art style, and I don't understand it, there's a lot more like there's sheen in their hair.
Okay.
There's
The
like more
shiny,
dramatic,
kind of
the
glossy.
shininess, the glossy.
Yeah.
Like it literally looks like Goku literally woke up, took a whole shit ton of pomade, and just went, okay. Like you know what I mean?
Hair product.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I mean, I remember back to the Namek saga, like the Frieza saga. The hair was more natural. It flowed when the wind blew. There's very iconic scenes where like you know Goku is standing somewhere, the wind is blowing, and his hair doesn't look like his normal like doot, 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 doot,
Right.
thing.
I can
Yeah.
understand that.
The thing I like though about this art style is it seems like it's a blend of old and new. Because when
Right.
Dragon Ball
Mhm.
came out, you know Toriyama's drawing very chubbier, more rounded
Hmm.
characters, and I think
Yeah.
throughout the progression of Z and
Representation matters, bro.
Super, right? We want chubby Goku. Yeah, but then, like, yeah, exactly. At the same time, like as we progressed into the more martial arts, power levels, transformation style anime that Dragon Ball became, we got a lot more angular.
Sure.
Mhm.
I literally have the trailer on my other screen as well, and like I'm just like parsing through it, looking at like scenes, and like you know,
Mhm.
there's this one shot at like 119. Goku looks so much like a kid. Like and he's a little rounded more. His arms are a little more rounded. His hair has a little bit of that kind of like lift in it, and it's just a really stupid scene. He's laughing and like jumping in the air or something, but like it looks really unique, and it's just it does feel it does. I think it helps to that vibe of bringing it back to that classic Dragon Ball style.
Mhm. Any more thoughts, Max?
I just really want to see the dang show already.
Same,
It's
dude.
been like because they announced it. I don't know if we're gonna touch upon it, but it feels like it was announced as early as it was for multiple reasons. One of them is actually to be like, hey, you guys, we got the message with Super. We're actually gonna take our time with this. We're not going to be like shoving it out literally like last minute out the gate to air because that's what was happening with Super, at
Mhm.
least for the first like couple of arcs. Like if you, especially if you were watching it as it was broadcasting, because the DVD versions are apparently a lot cleaner in
Episode
terms of
5.
Ooh, yeah,
Episode
there were
5's been
some like
cleaned up.
Oh,
there were
really?
some real stinkers.
Yeah. When they did the home
If
release,
you
they
haven't
really touched
if
up
you
episode
haven't
5.
rewatched it, if you haven't rewatched it, like the Blu-ray version is like actually looking good,
Oh.
better. But yeah, when they were, because they were like really like an episode would have to air and like basically on the day it would probably be done.
Yep.
So they had to rush, like at least I think the first half of Super is like very rushed. And then something
Daima?
happened where, no, not Daima, Super.
No. I was sorry. I was going to say
Um,
something, but I didn't want to cut you off.
And where by the time they got to the Tournament of Power, they were actually allowed to breathe a little bit. So that's why the Tournament of Power actually looks a bit more consistent in terms of art style. But yeah, giving them the time to actually make the dang thing, they have no excuse if it looks bad. But
Yeah,
from
right.
what we've seen so far, at least from the stuff that we've finally been able to see more of, it looks good. It looks solid. I like the art style. I know there are probably going to be people out there that don't like the art style. I understand where you're coming from with the whole graininess thing,
Sure.
and I think that partially has to do with the fact that that was cell animation
Yeah.
and not digital art.
Mhm.
So
Very
digital
different.
art also has like it has a big effect on how something looks.
Sure.
So if you're gonna have like hand drawn digital art and you're trying to compare it to something that was not that, you're definitely gonna have people that are gonna prefer one over the other, and that's absolutely fine.
Absolutely.
But I feel like if we're going to compare it to anything, we probably should compare it more to like his mangas more than anything, because that is what the anime is based off of.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually
Yeah.
a really good point because just with tech kind of exponentially getting better, it's bound to happen that artists also grow with that tech, and thus art style changes, it evolves, and it gets better. It's interesting that you bring up those points about being glossy, and so as someone who does kind of dabble in art, I actually quite like that kind of glossiness in still pictures. I totally get your point though, Denny, on the fact that like within the animation and how hair kind of flows, it was different. Like when Goku was Super Saiyan for the very first time on Namek against Frieza, that is infinitely different than how Goku and Gohan looked coming out of the hyperbolic time chamber after training for Cell. So like I get that sentiment.
Yeah.
And I'm somewhere in the middle of that.
Like, I think about what was the last movie that came out? Broly?
Yes.
Yeah,
Super
that's the last
Broly.
movie.
Like, I love the art style in that, and nobody had shiny hair,
Oh, interesting.
right? Like,
Interesting.
I'm just picking on the shiny hair because it's just a pet peeve that I realized. And like, no, obviously the movie and all the art, it all looks great, but like, there was something about the way Broly's art style was done that I think almost had a little bit of like, you could see this and be like, yeah, this was made at that time.
Sure.
About the time that we're talking about, like, that Namek saga, the Frieza saga, and it almost did have like almost that kind of graininess, I think.
Sure.
But obviously it's digital, so it's not as grainy. And that's the other thing. The grainy point is really funny because it made me think like it's interesting because like Dragon Ball obviously really ushered anime into Western audiences.
Agreed.
I think a lot of people will say that, right? Like that's where Toonami came from. Cartoon Network just totally kicked butt and took names. But that happened late 90s, early 2000s.
Sure.
Right? So we're introduced to Dragon Ball in the West very late, almost to the point where I think the run of GT was done and we were still getting Namek Saga episodes as brand new episodes.
Yeah.
So I think GT was 96, 97.
For us, probably yes. But the really weird thing that I found out early on
96
was that
there you go. Yeah, 96.
96. Okay, so that is correct. So the weird thing that at least was happening here in Europe, for whatever reason, I have to assume that Dragon Ball Z was airing in France because the Super Famicom games had French localizations.
They did. You're right.
Which is super weird because like there's no Italian version, there's no English version.
Right.
It's just the Japanese version, and for some reason, French. So I have to assume there was a French localization of Dragon Ball Z floating around in the mid 90s, which blew my mind because I was like, okay, so why did it take so long for it to reach where I'm living at, right? Because like you said, for me, when it first started airing on TV was, I want to say 1998,
right?
Which is maybe a year before that. It was definitely before Pokemon aired.
Oh yeah, for
sure. Because it was before Pokemon aired, and like you had Sailor Moon. You had.
Did you guys have Samurai Pizza Cats?
We had Samurai Pizza. We had the English dub of Samurai Pizza Cats. Not
Now
the
that's an
not
anime.
that.
I don't know that I've watched that one.
You haven't?
Am I canceled now?
That's a different episode altogether. No, you're not canceled, but that is definitely a different episode.
That's not even an episode.
Because
That's a
we have
rewatch podcast right there. We need to
Interesting.
rewatch Samurai Pizza Cats.
Okay.
podcast.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it is crazy. So I feel like at least in some parts of the world, there is a bit more synergy probably with the Japanese fans than there is with like other parts of the world, like the rest of Europe.
In Europe, it released in '93.
Okay.
See?
So yeah, and
But
you know what? I was
But
thinking about this.
it says Europe, but it's not the whole of Europe.
Not whole. It's probably
just
like France. There's 8 regions. Yeah. And I was thinking about this, and memory of a child. There was an NES game when it's Dragon Ball. It's the story of Dragon Ball. It's a Dragon Ball game.
Literally Dragon Ball.
It is a Dragon Ball game that they brought to North America. The series was even out here.
Exactly. So they changed everything. They basically pulled a Doki Doki Panic so that they could put the game out still, right? Get like something out of it.
Like,
Yeah.
And they still called the kid Goku, which was funny. And Bulma and Master Roshi, they all still had their names.
They still had their name.
Like, they still had their
Okay, so
names.
it's a poor implementation of the Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah.
Right. Shift gears here and talk about Daima and what that means for the original canon. Is Daima going to be canon?
There's we're gonna talk canon in. We have to. I already brought this up before. I'm just gonna say it again. Dragon Ball Super still has a manga that's ongoing.
Yep.
And as far as I know, that manga goes way past the Tournament of Power, way past the battle against Broly. It goes beyond that. I haven't caught up to Super. Not because I don't want to, it's just that life. Yeah. So if this is supposed to be, I feel like this is its own thing. I feel like this is it probably does take place after a certain event. But it's probably a future event where Super has not reached yet. So it could be at the eventual end of Super.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what that is. The only thing that I do remember of where because I think Super's on hiatus now.
Right.
Is that it ended with a panel where Goku and Piccolo were flying off into the sunset to like the next adventure or something. So it could be that it takes place after that moment. It could also be that it takes place after whatever arc the successor to Toriyama, because he's been the guy that's been basically doing the manga up until Toriyama's death. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what he discussed with Toriyama before his passing, because they were working on the manga together. If Toriyama was working on this like with all his attention, I can see that he says, "Oh, this is where whatever the ending is for Super is going to be. This is where this takes off from this point on."
Right.
Or I could have also just said that this is just a project that he wanted to do, and this is just a passion project, and it has nothing to do with anything that Toyotaro's working on.
Personally,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, guys. Personally, I would be okay with this being just a side story, a side adventure. One thing I would say is, like, if you notice, like, the canon Dragon Ball stuff, I should say, has always been paired with a manga, right? So Dragon Ball had the Dragon Ball manga, and Dragon Ball Z had the Dragon Ball manga, and then Super has its manga. And, Super has kind of, like you said, has gone past what's been televised, and there's new stories in the manga. If I'm not mistaken, Daima doesn't have a manga to partner with, right?
No,
So
it does not.
it is an anime only story, which again kind of puts it more in the Dragon Ball GT camp, another comparison that people have made. And that's kind of treated as well now as like a side story or non-canon, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
Yeah.
if this is going to just be a fun adventure, a fun time, cute and powerful battles, I believe that was the line. And if it's a side story, it's fine by me. Like, it doesn't have to be canon. It's just a fun adventure.
Yeah, I would agree with that,
I agree
actually.
with that.
Yeah, the question I keep asking myself, truly, right, as a Dragon Ball Toriyama fan, does it even have to be canon, right? It's not a deal breaker because this is his last piece of work. This is Dragon Ball. This is new Dragon Ball stuff. And so, like, for me, as kind of like someone who's followed it from the very, very beginning as a kid, now a fully grown adult, where anime is at its absolute peak, I think, in the Western world, at least. I think we grew up through a phase where, like, watching this stuff was like uncool. and then it became cool, and
it was a guilty pleasure,
right? And now we're just like
a secret obsession.
Now we're the hipsters. We're like, guys, we watched this before it was cool. Like we watched this before it was mainstream.
Oh my God, Dragon Ball's so cool. You know nothing about Dragon Ball. Shut up.
Exactly. You know nothing. And I think with all of the disdain that people had for GT, I was still loving all of that, you know. And the fact that Toriyama actually has his hand in Daima is a win for me. So that kind of leads me into some other questions. Now, there are particular characters showcased in the trailer. Are there any characters that you noticed aren't in the trailer, and do you think that they will show up? What are your thoughts?
The kids weren't in the trailer.
Correct.
In any of the trailers, I think.
Correct. Yes. So no Gohan.
Trunks,
Yeah.
No Goten. So what does that mean? Yep. So we have I have the trailer playing for me right now. We have Piccolo, we have Vegeta, we have Goku, Yamcha, Chi-Chi, Krillin, Bulma, but no sign of Gohan. You know, we don't have Videl, we don't have look through the trailer. Like I'm looking through it right now and I have it on my screen. For everybody to be watching along with us. Let's see. Guys. Yeah. But I haven't seen any of the kids.
Oh wait, no, Nick, sorry, no, I'm wrong.
It's very quick. Like it's not one of the features. Like Nico's very obviously in there.
Marin?
Oh, Marin's in it?
She's not 18.
Yeah, no. 18, there's a baby in our hand.
No, you're
so
right.
Quick.
Because there's a frame here that has Goten and Trunks as babies looking at each
No,
other.
wait, really?
It's in that quick montage.
You're right. Yeah. It's like it's like 1 second and you miss it.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought it was Goku because Goten and Goku have the same hair.
Yeah. But
what time is this at?
This is at like 21 and 22 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So they turned into babies. Yeah, so all the kids have been also aged down as well. So they turned into
but
babies
as far as we know, I haven't seen Gohan. I've now combed through it. I have not seen Gohan.
Okay, but Gohan has to be there. If Trunks and Goten aren't there.
Right.
And even Marin is there. So the only one that we're missing is Pan.
Correct.
We're missing Pan and Videl.
But arguably Pan doesn't have to be. Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. Never mind.
Pan would have to be turned into a baby too.
No.
Marin is older than Pan.
Marin is older because Marin came around before the Boo saga.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
And Pan was in the womb during Dragon Ball Battle of God.
Guys, what is time?
Yeah, you're right.
What is time? Anyway?
What is time?
Whatever, okay? The Dragon Balls can do anything. Well,
it also doesn't help that GT is a thing because there she was like.
I know, like we're that's why I'm being thrown off. I'm like, wait, do we account for it? No, we don't. Never mind. Different.
No, we don't account for GT. Yeah, unfortunately.
But there's some really cool things happening in this trailer now that I'm kind of looking at it and kind of dissecting it. There is a part in the trailer around 129, 130 where Goku does this move and either dispels or blocks this beam. And he's just smiling.
Yeah,
that just gets me hype right there.
No, he's just straight up blocked it with like literally the tip of his fingers.
Badass.
That's so
is what it is.
Yeah.
So here's a question. Like now that we have kind of this realization that they will be small, they're kind of this chibi type of animation. They're kids, they're cute. I mean, we've had some pretty violent Dragon Ball fights. Some very, very violent, graphic, bloody, you name it. Are we gonna be witnessing stuff like that, or is it gonna be a little bit toned down because of this kind of cute approach.
Like what you see visually,
Right.
in terms of that, we're probably going to see way less blood, but it's still probably going to kick ass.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to have way more fun moments. To I could say cute, but I'm cute is different when it's like fun.
It's okay.
I think that we're
Toriyama
gonna
said it.
have way more fun moments in terms of.
True.
Yeah, I know, but we're gonna see way more fun moments in the fights. Like for example, how he blocks that beat is pretty badass.
I agree. I think the way I think it would be done is like you're gonna have a lot of slapstick battles, like a lot of fun, silly stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think when it's time for stuff to get real, that's when we're gonna get like the more impactful action and stuff will just become more serious. Because like I mean, again, I'm just gonna keep comparing it to the original Dragon Ball. They did that, right? Like they had their slapstick fights, you know, they had their fun moments, but then we also got some pretty intense moments, like Goku literally headbutting himself through Demonkin Piccolo.
Mhm.
Like that was intense.
Right. And
Yeah.
for the time, that was like as us viewers, we were like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this before.
Exactly.
So it was
Yeah.
pretty impressive. I still think that we will witness impressive, especially with this artist's prestige at this point. I know that I'm going to love this. So I'm very, very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope Goku bites more people. He's always biting someone. He bit Frieza.
Yo,
He bit Boo.
that's right.
Just bite everyone.
To be fair, he did used to do that in Dragon Ball as well. So
Exactly. Bite everyone.
It is something he does. The only thing that I'm actually kind of curious, I don't think they might do it because I haven't seen it in any of the trailers. They probably won't. Wherever they go, there might not be a moon, which again would still be super weird. But we haven't seen Great Ape anything. And we haven't
they
seen
don't have
Great
tails?
Ape in forever. I don't think. What do you mean?
They don't have their
that's-
Saiyan tails, right?
They don't have their tails. That's what. Yeah, like you have.
Yeah,
all
but
cut them
here's
off,
the
so-
thing: the tails can regrow, and
True.
we've seen it happen multiple times. We've seen it happen in Dragon Ball. We've
Yeah.
seen it happen in Dragon Ball Z with Gohan,
Yeah,
because
true.
Gohan's tail was cut off twice.
Right.
Once during his training with Piccolo, and he cut it off and turned it into that kick-ass sword. And then during the attack of the Saiyans,
Deep
when
cuts.
Frieza and Nappa came up, he turned into it again, and then they had to cut his tail off again as well. So
are they?
but at that
just
point, no, but at that
shaving their
point,
tail off,
it did
literally?
because at that point the moon was blasted by Piccolo,
Mhm.
so there was no moon. By the way, an Earth with no moon. How the hell is that planet still functioning?
It's another episode.
But when
The Z fighters have been messing
Frieza
with
made
gravity.
Frieza.
Exactly.
Vegeta made that like artificial moon thing that gave him moon powers, which allowed him to turn into the Great Ape.
Right.
Gohan saw that as well, and then also turned into the Great Ape, except he lost all control. Whereas,
Right.
Vegeta has control over the Great Ape state.
Right.
So we don't know if that's a thing that might come back, or if Akira Toriyama just forgot. Just like he forgot Launch. Anybody remember Launch?
Yeah.
I remember Launch.
Yeah.
Because apparently he forgot Launch when he started the Dragon Ball Z run.
That's funny.
He forgot about Trunks' hair color. That's why it's
Actually,
light blue
yeah.
and super.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, and I love, well, I don't love, but I'm being hyperbolic in saying that I love how funny the community likes to react to a creator's choices, whether they are intentional or not. Sometimes we just really just need to enjoy it for what it is, how it was created, who it was created by, and just be. I have kind of a fun question that is not really kind of relevant to what we're talking about right now, but it is about a character in this universe. We constantly talk about the strongest fighters, the strongest Z fighters in this franchise. I saw a thread the other day that was talking about Yamcha fighting
Okay.
an army of avatars from the last Airbender.
Oh, he's dead.
So chill. The question is, and there was a lot of discourse on this. The question is, how many of the avatars does Yamcha get through before he dies, or
None.
do all of the avatars die?
Bro, he
Zero.
could beat a Cyberman, man.
Hell
Let's be
no.
real.
Okay,
He
so
is
talk amongst
and
yourselves,
always-
and I will pull up this thread for you.
Bro,
Discuss.
I think we both agree on this.
We both agree. Here's what
Okay.
I'll
We
say.
both agree. What's the
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Have you guys watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged on YouTube by Team 4-Star?
there's
I've seen
discourse
bits
on
and
that as
pieces.
well.
I've
But-
seen
but
There's a
yes.
line. So like it stops after the Cell saga, right? But there's one episode in when Gohan's fighting Cell, and everybody's like, "Crap, man, we're getting like outshone, and our power levels are less than this 11-year-old kid, right? Like, why are we even here?" And Yamcha's just like, "I brought towels. Does that count for anything?" Ever since then, Yamcha has been solidified as the towel boy of the Z fighters. He is there with water. He is there with snacks. He is there to hold the sensu beans. He is the mule. He can't do shit.
Yo, that is savage. Oh my god, that is
Okay.
savage.
Let me read some of these replies. I will share the link after, just so you don't get ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I will read you some tweets that are in favor of Yamcha. Bro has supersonic speed, so he can get behind everyone and shoot a ball of energy through their necks. Game over. The fact that Yamcha is being paired against avatars is crazy. He solos everyone, they die. Yamcha's multiple times faster than light. I don't think that's true. He's faster than sound, not light, and can destroy multiple planets if all of them in the avatar state jump while he's asleep. I still got him winning. So people are so behind Yamcha because, and understand, we know the strongest Z fighters. We know how strong they are. They defeat planets, they defeat gods. Okay. But Yamcha, outside of the Z fighters, if they did not exist, is one of the strongest, if not the strongest human being that lives.
No, I give that honor to Krillin.
Bro, yeah, that is obvious. It's obviously Krillin.
Krillin
Okay.
took a punch from Goku and did not die.
Okay, Krillin gets that credit. Krillin does get that credit. But I'm actually excluding Krillin from this as well.
Why? He's human.
He's one of the Z fighters. I don't
So
even.
is Yamcha.
Just Tian Shinhan. Do we exclude him too?
Is Tian human?
Well, no, the jury's still out on that one.
The jury's still out on that one. Okay.
I've never seen that third eye blink. It's a tattoo for all I care.
Here is I'm gonna give you the link on the Discord here. I'll let you read some of these things yourself.
I'm
Because
sorry. I just one of the ones you read, and I'm sorry. Yamcha can blow up planets.
What in the hell did
how
that
far does
happen?
Yamcha get? I don't think all of these are accurate, but I do think that some of them have some merit here.
No,
I mean,
man, they were
Yamcha is
poking.
technically superhuman. His speed is faster, physically stronger. Can't take his bending though. Oh wait.
There is no bending to there. No,
I think he's talking
technically
about
it's
the
energy.
Avatar.
It's energy bending.
Okay. Yeah, see,
If
lots of
it's
people,
Aang, You
guys.
can steal away his chakra.
This thread has 6.2 million views.
So 6.2 million people are wrong.
Yeah.
No, it just says
Well,
views. So like
no, it's
people
just
are
views.
reading this, and a lot of people commenting and replying are saying Yamcha solos. So I'm interested to know, for those of you who are watching this video or short or clip or whatever, what do you think? Does Yamcha clear these avatars?
No.
Or
No.
do the avatars, does he not even get past Aang?
Bro,
What?
he doesn't even get past
Avatar
Yajirobe.
state.
Nah, Put some respect on Yajirobe's name, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm giving Yajirobe respect. I'm giving Yajirobe his flowers right now. He cut off the tails in the Saiyan saga.
This is so funny, man.
Yajirobe, here. Yamcha still in that fucking crater from the Cyberman.
Yamcha took an unprepared kick to the face from Super Saiyan Blue Goku and was fine.
Exactly.
And way back in his Saiyan arc, his attack movements were too fast for the human eye to see unless trained enough to do so. So he solos all of them.
Avatar state. I'm done. Avatar state.
You're finding it very difficult to be the devil's advocate here, eh, Max? I see the confusion in your face.
Nah, because here's the thing, right? If we were not counting Dragon Ball Z, if this was just Dragon Ball,
Okay.
I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like his Raging Wolf Fist, super awesome. He kicked most people's butt in Dragon Ball. That shit was useless in Z. Like, absolutely. Like, here's the thing. He got bodied so humiliatingly that when they returned from Namek, he just did not fight anymore. He was not a fighter,
bro.
When the androids attacked, he was just chilling. He was like in civilian clothes. He had given up the. He was a bandit.
In civilian clothes. Yeah,
dude, he got bodied by freaking Giro.
When they first meet Trunks, future Trunks, and he's just in his like denim and then white shirt and a middle part haircut.
Like, didn't Gohan have that same stupid haircut like 2 seasons prior?
Yes, but Gohan also saved the planet, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's all I'm going to say.
I'm not.
Like his mom gave him that bull cut.
Look, I am not necessarily in line with what people are saying Yamcha could do, but I'm saying he would probably put up a fight. He would probably put up a fight. You don't think so?
There are way too many.
Are the Avatar people like? Do they have their hands tied behind their back and blindfolds, and they're like not allowed to move? Because then maybe
they bend elements.
Are they allowed to bend?
Yeah,
actually, that's probably a better question.
And can Yamcha call Goku over to help?
I saw an argument.
No, I think it's just him versus the Avatars.
I saw an argument that if blood bending was a thing, then Yamcha would be cooked. But
absolutely.
And then another counter argument to that is that the Z fighters actually have regulated their energy to the point where their energy acts as a shield to bending. I don't know what basis of the
This is turning into the whole Superman versus Goku thing all over. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
It hurt my brain. Guys, this was worth talking about, okay? I'm not trying to like argue you. I'm trying to relay the internet to you. And
wait. This is my favorite. Oh no, that's Saiyan Saga. I thought it said Super Saiyan Yamcha. I'm like, someone thinks Yamcha went Super Saiyan in this thread.
Nah.
He'll be back in that crater real quick. There you go.
There's a gif here of what is Yamcha's like spirit ball. I think it's called a spirit ball where he controls it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it has a name. I forget what it is called. Damn it.
But this person's like, this attack would kill all avatars before Yamcha even running out of energy.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I was like, hell no.
I just looked at the one of him playing baseball. I'm like, that's appropriate. Just stick to baseball, Yamcha. You're not a fighter anymore.
Yikes. These DBZ versus Avatar competitions need to stop. Any member of the Ginyu Force solos all avatars.
Maybe. Yeah.
Ginyu could just do the body switch. But I mean, like, would you even anyway? So all right, guys. This was obviously a kind of out there question, but I'd be interested to know if there's anyone as passionate as the people that are in this thread, in this video. Let us know. Does Yamcha solo or does he get cooked? Oh man.
I think the people in the list are Delulu.
Delulu?
Straight up.
It's crazy how many people are Yamcha stans, right?
Not because you need way too many handicaps to even take out one.
I bet you
Like
a lot of people who are saying
have to take away
Yamcha wins are also like Avatar's is not even an anime and can't compete. So like, you know, the anime purists.
Yeah.
That would be my argument. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm joking.
Oh man. Champ can easily blow up Earth. Yo, where are people getting their sources here?
I don't know.
The only
makes no
person
sense.
Yamcha could maybe beat is the cabbage guy from Avatar. My cabbages!
Yeah, well,
That's the
obviously.
only guy, shot for shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. This is the only argument so far that I maybe, you know, it does have some merit here. What Avatar is surviving 300 times gravity?
He doesn't do that. He got bodied when he tried to do that in the anime.
Okay,
What
hold
the
on.
hell?
Let's look up some.
He does do 300 times gravity. It's not wrong.
Yeah, but he
just
barely
sucks
survives
at
it.
But he survived.
He barely survives it.
But he survived.
Yeah,
With that stupid bowl cut, he survived.
Okay,
yeah, I
let's
could survive
compare.
it too. That doesn't mean that I fight.
What is
I'd be crushed.
What is Goku Super Saiyan Blue's power level?
Bro, do they still have numbers for that?
No, they stopped doing that a long time ago. There's no like when they started doing like the Super Saiyan God stuff, they basically just everything just basically went out the window because
Everything is just over 9,000 at this point.
everything is basically over 9,000 at this point because there's no way to like tangibly because you're now talking about like a form that Goku and Vegeta take on gods of destruction. That's just like
So
His base power is like 125 trillion by the end of
So
Super.
in the Android saga, Perfect Cell saga, apparently his strength is enough that Dr. Gero, Android 20, initially believes Yamcha is Goku when first encountering him because his power level is 2,500,000 at that point.
Dr. Gero is also old and probably forgot to update his prescription.
Stop! He was an android. He was a computer.
Okay, fine. Maybe he was installing his Windows update.
Data.
Whatever.
He forgot to update his data. That's what happened. That's why he got to. That's why
Again,
they beat it.
I'm definitely playing devil's advocate here to piss you guys off, but like after dying at the hands of Majin Buu, Yamcha returns to the other world, having been allowed to keep his body. While there, he ultimately rediscovers his passion for fighting while training with Krillin and several King Kai's fighters in the other world. He manages to beat Olibu, who is stronger than Super Perfect Cell. And at this point, his power level would have been 2.6 million. 2,600,000. 2,600,000. That's the Kid Buu saga.
Do you know that's nothing? Goku's base when he fought Frieza on Namek, his base form was 3 million.
Yes, I understand that, but Goku is not going against the avatars. I'm saying
if Yamcha is going against the avatars, whatever. No, it's not gonna happen. What was Yamcha? Yamcha was dead during this the Namek saga, wasn't he? He was hanging out with King Kai. Bro, that's lost. He had his foot out the door already. He's gone. He ain't doing shit. He couldn't even give the towels.
Basically, Denny's and Max's response to this whole thread is that one screen capture of Yamcha just cooked on the ground in the Saiyan saga.
Because that's what defines him.
I'm sorry.
He lost Bulma to Vegeta.
True.
I don't care what he was doing in the other world when they all got by Majin Buu, but no, because again, Krillin is still stronger than him at the end of the day. And Krillin, let's say this. If it was Krillin versus the Avatars, I'd say Krillin probably takes out a couple of them before they take him out because he has the one move that for whatever reason is the strongest move in the entire franchise, but it always gets flubbed. And you all know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Destructo Disc.
Yeah.
It literally is a buzz off energy. It cut through Frieza.
Yeah. Yeah,
Freaking
I agree. Krillin would
end of story.
Krillin would cook like would not, no problem. But they also
The only reason
in the same wiki.
Yeah, the only reason is plot armor. Yeah.
The same wiki says that Krillin and Yamcha were actually the same power level in the Android and Cell game saga. 2,600,000.
And what did Krillin do in the Android saga besides fall in love?
Actually, he did a lot. I can't say the same thing for Yamcha.
Come on, bro. He had the senzu beans at one point.
So he helped out Yamcha because he couldn't handle his towel boy responsibilities.
Man.
Oh no. Yo, that's
all right, guys. This was such a fun conversation. Thank you for indulging that incredibly ridiculous question at the end. Interested to know what the comments will say. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends. Thank you, Denny. Thank you, Max. Where can everybody find you, Max?
Again, hi. I'm MAXIMILIANX. I stream random games on Twitch. You can follow me every Tuesday and Thursday on twitch.tv/Maximilian_X. You can also find my content on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@Maximilian_X as well.
Go follow Max. I have had the wonderful privilege of being on Max's podcast, Game Rivals, hoping to get on there again to talk some more stuff. I know
we definitely got to talk about more stuff.
We got to talk about more stuff, more animes, more movie shows, and game development. But Denny, where can everybody find you, my friend?
Yeah, man. I also stream on Twitch, so you can find me at on there. You can find me on YouTube, and of course, if you want to follow me somewhere, and the best place to do that is Instagram. So I'll keep you updated with everything there. Everything's on my Linktree, so Linktree/Denirukun Gaming.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the video. We are the creators of Power Up Gamers, so check out the Linktree in the description below. My name is RICEBOY. That's Rice BOYYY You can find me on Twitch. I'm currently in the middle of trying to figure out when the best day to stream is during the week. I'm in a bit of a work transition right now, so just figuring out my schedule a little bit, but we will see you soon. Please interact with us on socials. We're going to be doing more content together. These guys are absolute gems of human beings outside of the stuff that we do. I also happen to know them a little bit more personally, and they are great. So please consider giving them a follow, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Later.
Peace.
Later.